my name is Sam, and this is another drag race. Let's roll! We're back again with another drag race. Finally, I managed to get a Grand Wagoneer. This is the 2022 Grand Wagoneer Series 3. Listen to that engine. And in the middle, we have the 2024 Cadillac Escalade 600. Listen to that engine. And all the way to the other side, we could not do this drag race without the 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Now, listen to that engine. I have always wanted to do this drag race, and some people will say, Sam, it makes no sense. Why are you drag racing these massive SUVs? It's true, like in some cases, like what's the point? People don't really look for that. But here's what's important when you do a drag race that I have learned from doing so many. You get to learn about the transmission. You get to learn about the vehicle. You get to learn about the engine. We also do fuel efficiency tests where we test the vehicles from the location we start in Toronto all the way here, which is about 110 kilometers over 65 miles, around 65 miles. And we do a fuel efficiency test where we reset the trip and find out how they drive, find out the fuel efficiency, because we drive right behind each other. So there's no speeding. People are using the same drive modes. So that way we can get a fair result. But also when you bring them to the track, you get to learn about how the engines operate, how fast they are, because you need a bit of power, and that's why they put big massive powers in these things instead of putting a 4-cylinder in a SUV this size, so that they can give you a bit of that power but also comfort and hopefully fuel efficiency. But before we talk about those things, let's talk about the specs. This Grand Wagoneer is powered by a 6.4 liter V8 naturally aspirated. It makes 471 brake horsepower and 455 pound-feet of torque. It uses an 8-speed automatic transmission. It's a 4x4 and it weighs 6,358 pounds. Heavy boat, that's for sure. In the middle, we've got, of course, the 2024 Cadillac Escalade 600 Sport. That's a V8, 6.2 liter V8 in this case. It makes 420 brake horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. Equipped with a 10-speed automatic transmission, it is a 4-wheel drive, and it weighs 6,036 pounds, which is lighter than the Grand Wagoneer. And all the way to the left side, we've got the 2024 Lincoln Navigator, which uses a 3.5 liter V6 twin turbocharged engine. It makes 440 brake horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque. Powered, made it to a 10-speed automatic transmission. Of course, this is a 4-wheel drive, and it weighs 6,078 pounds, which is kind of crazy. Out of the three, the Navigator seems to have the best power to weight ratio. Now, let's talk about the fuel efficiency. So, here's what we got. The Grand Wagoneer achieved 12.2 liters per 100 kilometers out of that 6.4 liter engine. The Cadillac Escalade achieved 11.1 liters per 100 kilometers. And the winner is the Lincoln Navigator at 10.9. So that's interesting. Now, I want to say something before we start the drag race. I know a lot of you guys will say, Sam, why don't you just get the new engine for the Grand Wagoneer? Well, in Canada, we don't really get to choose a lot. So I may be packing my bag soon and move to the US because it's a struggle getting cars. I'm not going to complain because I've been very lucky, but I want to say that it is very hard finding vehicles that you want to match like precisely. In fact, it's hard finding new vehicles, or like this one, for example. Stellantis Canada, they're just completely useless at this point. You don't even bother asking because they don't want their cars to drag race. So this was from someone that owns this vehicle. So unfortunately, we got to work with what we have. Having said that, well, we've got two V8s. We're going to race first the Grand Wagoneer versus the Escalade and see how those two do, and whichever wins will go up against the Lincoln Navigator. With that in mind, if you're new to the channel, here's how we do our drag races. First, we start behind the racing lights and the two cones. We start for the roll race behind those, about 200 meters behind those, all the way to those two cones that you see. When we get to those two cones, we go pedal to the metal. So that's our sign of starting the roll race. And all the way to the end line where the racing flag is located and the end line camera. The drag race, we start where the racing light is located and you have those two cones. And of course, all the way to the end of the quarter mile. With that in mind, let's race first the Grand Wagoneer versus the Escalade. Let's roll! My God, I actually feel like I'm racing houses in here, like just gigantic monstrosities. But let's see. I have a feeling I'm going to win, but I just never know. Yeah. Oh.
Wagoneer or Escalade? Yep. He's gone.
That's a walk. Bye-bye, Caddy.
He's gone. Definitely he's gone. I'm driving a Bolt, right? So I don't have an excuse. Oh.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yep. The Wagoneer's faster than the Escalade. Well, at least the Escalade looks cooler.
Closer. See the 10 speed. Closer, a lot closer. Wow. Navigator versus Grand Wagoneer is next because the Grand Wagoneer won the first race, roll race, and drag race against the Escalade. Okay, sir, we're going to do the roll race first. Good to go? You have Excite mode. You don't have Sport mode. Not like the plebs on this side. I have Sport mode and I've got Snow. You have Slippery and, you know, all that stuff. You got Excite. Let's see how exciting that thing is. You ready?
Ready, let's go.
3, 2, 1, go.
It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight. Yeah. But definitely this car is comfortable.
Huh. What? Three, 2, 1, go.
That's pretty close, but I won.
Look at him go! Told you, higher speed, but very little. He won by very little.
Yep. The Lincoln's faster.
What? Might have not had the best launch, but I'm catching up, I'm catching up.
Yep.
Wake up! Come on! He's taking out! Come on! Yeah, of course, the same result. Come on! Wake up!
Why? Ever thought that the Lincoln Navigator would be the fastest one?
That was it, guys. The Lincoln proved on from a dig to be faster, but this thing on a roll, it's much faster than the other two. It's actually faster in many ways, except the higher speed. This wasn't a good. One thing I have to say about the Grand Wagoneer, this thing is such an annoying car in so many ways. Like the buttons are annoying. I've never liked this car, but I have to say that engine is quite nice, and it's actually been used in other vehicles. But we couldn't get the inline 6 engine because that one makes more horsepower because it wasn't available. So if it's not available, I can't book it anywhere, and I couldn't find someone that had that. Most people have this one. But yeah, out of the three, I love the Navigator and I do love the Escalade. I love the audio system in the Escalade. I love the audio system in the Escalade out of the three. That IKG system is brilliant. It's sharp. It sounds so good. But I could see why the Navigator is also super nice. Interior, amazing seats, and so on. But yeah, that was it. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and check out my other videos on my channel.